Good, how are you?
Can you open the door? We're here to do the eviction.
I'm sorry, but there can't be any force that's involved.
There's an eviction. It was kicked back from federal back to the state last night or yesterday, and I was advised to move forward today. Can you come to the door, please?
Who do you have with you? A police officer?
Yes, ma'am. No,
Okay,
it's not.
great. Can I speak with him?
Can you come to the door?
I cannot. I'm sick in bed.
Well, I can't stop the execution of the eviction. Well,
Well, those orders are void,
ma'am,
unfortunately.
police officer more time.
Sir,
Can you come downstairs and just
hi,
talk?
how are you?
Good, how are you doing?
I can talk to you through I can talk to you through this right here.
Okay. Well, this gentleman. So
I
he.
understand what he's here for, but unfortunately, the eviction that papers that he was served are fraudulent. And as a result of being fraudulent and not being ordered by the court of right, he doesn't have the actual order in hand. That's not the actual physical order. There was never an actual order for possession. There was an order that was enjoined with the DC action, which, pursuant to law, you can't join an LT action with a DC action with an LT action. Nothing can be enjoined together.
Ma'am, you talk to him. The officers are here. They wouldn't understand the court side of it. I was given a green
Right,
light.
but this is civil. So, unfortunately,
Me just say this, right? A lot of times when people, most especially people who are under Section 8, get evicted, a large part of that is as a result of their decisions. And I feel like this young woman is a clear example of what we're talking about, okay? Because, first off, whether the eviction notice is real, illegal, legal, fraudulent, or not, you very well know that you are late on your rent and you know that there has to be consequences for that, okay? Obviously, these officers were sent by the court, and the court has no right or no interest in giving the police the whole proceedings. So whatever happened in court is between you, the homeowner, and the court, officials, right? So for you to see law officials at your doorstep trying to like evict you, instead of trying to be smart and have like a sassy comeback, because she just kept on saying, "Oh, unfortunately, I'm sick in bed." Like I'm just getting kind of pissed off, just imagining how she feels in her head and how she's handling the whole thing, between behind the doors and thinking that she's super smart and she would probably get away with this. I'm so glad and also so happy that she didn't get away with this because I don't think that such irresponsibility and such lack of accountability and such very intense sense of entitlement should be encouraged in any form, be it large scale or small scale in whatever form. It definitely should never be encouraged. And, that's just all I have to say. Obviously, she did get evicted. I don't know if it ended in a very cordial way, as she's claiming it to be, or if things escalated for the ugly side. But she definitely did leave the house, you know.
and you cannot make forceful entry into the home.
Actually, I can. We're opening the
No,
door.
you cannot.
Opening the door
That
now.
is illegal.
There's not.
They to have 5 children living in a fucking low budget hotel. I just want to clear the air to let people know that when people end up in a hotel, it's because of displacement. It's because of unfortunate circumstances sometimes. Mainly because of the way the government and the economy is, okay? That's the case for me. Let's get that clear. Let's get that out the way. And then secondly, all 5 of my children do not live in the hotel. One of my children lives with his active father that he's had in his life for a very long time. That's my firstborn. My eldest son lives with his father, okay? And just because I'm on the internet, showing how it looks in a hotel, I'll let you know. I have 5 children. One is 16, one is 12, one is 9, one is 3. Yeah, and then we have the baby. Yeah, she just turned 2024. So, well, she just turned. Anyway, I see and notice a lot of people have a lot to say about how many children I have, my fertility, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you're not thinking of the problems that lie that put me in the situation to fucking begin with. I want to do a story time on how I even ended up in a hotel because it is a long story. It is very, very long. It's about 5 years long. Because
I completely and honestly get her. Trust me, a whole lot of people who are going through like hardship right now would never really envision themselves in that situation. A whole lot of people, not everyone, okay? And I'm thinking the people who are like experiencing some kind of, hardships that never truly envisioned themselves in that instance are people who didn't have such lifestyle or such foundation growing up, right? So, she said she has 5 kids, right? And her first son lives with his active father. I'm really happy for both parties, that there are two active parents. And so when she says she has 5 kids and she's showing her life in hotel living, I wanted to say, okay, like maybe, let me not judge her too much because in case you don't know, I am judging, okay? So I was like, okay, let me not judge her too much, okay? Maybe like she has learned her lessons, after the 5 children, up until I saw the baby. This baby is less than a year. So 16 years ago, she started having kids with no foundation, with no plan, and she didn't see it as a good time to cut back. She didn't see it as a good time to rethink her decisions and rethink her. So she hasn't learned any lesson. So I am judging. If you want to tell, if maybe she says like her first son was 16 and then her last baby, or her last baby is like maybe 5, 6, I could really understand. Okay, like maybe she has learned that, oh, to take care of kids is not easy. Most especially you should like critically pick your children's parents and stuff like that. But she has a new baby, so first kid, second kid, third kid, fourth kid didn't teach her anything, and now she has 5 kids and she's living in a hotel. And then she's about to give us a pep talk about, oh, nobody actually expects to have children and be homeless or children and be struggling. Yes, nobody expects it. That's why some people check themselves and see if it's something that they can mount, okay? If it's something they can actually take on.
to be honest, if it wasn't for the slumlords and the bad landlords that I've had to deal with and the mismanagement, a lot of this stuff would have been prevented. It could have been prevented because first 5 years ago I was living in a public housing. I guess you could say Section 8 housing, but it wasn't on Section 8. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but they have public housing, Section 8 housing that you can pay full price for. So that's what I was actually. I didn't have a Section 8 voucher at the time. This neighbor did not like me. She was a booster and she stole my fucking carpet cleaner. And then DSS got involved. And then they took my children for 6 months. And then I had to move to another place. And when I moved to Spartanburg, another city outside of the city I was staying in, then I ended up with another bad landlord because the last landlord, when I was living in the public housing 5 years ago, she was bumping bussies with the lady that was calling the police on me, calling DSS on me, and all of that bullshit. So I ended up with another shitty landlord. But I just want to say that when I was living in that area with that shitty landlord and that fucked up neighbor who stole my carpet cleaner and called DSS on me and got my children taken away from me, yes, I was living in a 4 bedroom. Okay, I had more than enough room and I only had 3 children at the time. Okay. This is already getting too long, but if y'all want to hear a little bit more about my story time about how this bitch stole my carpet cleaner and got DSS in my life and ended up taking my children for 6 months, then y'all follow me and comment and like.
And if it's not, I mean, a sensible person should know the other thing to do. Like, everyone mustn't be a parent, guys. Like, can we just sit down and think about the fact that being a parent is not necessarily a necessity? So it's not like it's not like the way you have to breathe, the way you have to eat or shower and stuff. Being a parent should be a choice. And people just making it seem like it's so necessary and then they're just flopping up after they go through this decision. It's kind of like infuriating. Okay? Like, you don't need to go the extra miles, that honestly, let us stop this mentality. And the crazier thing is, when I see people with a lot of children and they don't have any plans for these kids, I'm like, other than the fact that you didn't take time out to pick out parents for your child, being a father or a mother for your child, I wonder how many people who have lots of kids actually wanted these children. A lot of these kids are just like a consequences for their sexual activities or their sexual actions or their sexual urges. And I feel like that's the most silly way to bring a full human being on earth. You didn't bring that child because you wanted a child or you're ready to take care of a child or you wanted to expand your family in any way. They are literally just consequences of your actions. And now you're here telling me cock and bull story about, oh no, we don't want to live in a, of course. I know. Because if she's giving me a story about like when she had a place to live, why are you having so much bad experiences with your landlord, with your neighbors? Like, why are you just a series of misunfortunate experiences? Like, why are you just a series of unfortunate experiences? Like, why does it just have to be you? Like, why did the universe choose you to have an issue with everybody who you're living with or everyone who you come across? It's not making a whole lot of sense. So that's why I'm like, there's a pattern here, and that pattern seemingly is coming from her side, and she definitely isn't open to, realizing the mistake or realizing what the problem is. But nonetheless, people, I want us to put our heads together. Do tell me what you'll think about this down in the comment box. I'm really gonna appreciate it. But we've come to the end of today's video. Thank you all so much and keep on staying safe. Okay, so bye.